Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from group 5. Our topic is education policy, and the policy that we choose is dual language program.
So this is our group members. So my name is Muhammad ZULFAQAR. Also we have Muhammad THARIF, Muhammad ARIF FARHAN, Muhammad LOKMAN and NORHISHAM FAKHRI. So in this presentation, we will introduce to all of you about this policy. Then we will be discussing about policy problem, the objective and strategy, the policy evaluation, the recommendation, and lastly to conclude whether this policy is good or not. So introduction for dual language program, also known as DLP. So DLP was introduced by Ministry of Education in 2016. This program allows selected school to teach science and mathematics in English instead of Bahasa Melayu. So to be known that DLP is part of the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 until now 2025, aiming to enhance English proficiency among students. The program also seeks to maintain Malaysia's national identity and cultural values. As I mentioned before, it allows selected school, only schools that meet specific criteria such as parental support, teacher capability, and resource availability are allowed to participate, which is different from the before policy that was called as PPSMI, which was a failure and had to be abolished. That's all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad HAKIM bin Muhammad FUZI. Today I will presenting about the policy problem statement through the dual language program DLP that a significant initiative by the Ministry of Education Malaysia. This program was introduced to address critical challenges in education, particularly in enhancing English proficiency, global readiness, and employability among Malaysian students. So let's go through to the main problem about this policy and the reason behind the implementation of DLP. For the first of main problem of DLP is improve students' proficiency in English language by allowing science and mathematics to be taught in English. DLP exposes students to essential academic and technical terms for an early age. According to a study by the Malaysian Insight 2018, 15% of students in DLP schools in rural areas achieve common European Framework of Reference for Language CEFR B1 English proficiency, compared to only 2% in non-DLP schools. This clearly shows how the program helps bridge the urban-rural gap in language skills and prepare students for higher education and professional communication. For the second main problem for DLP is provide students with greater access to global knowledge. In today's interconnected world, most scientific research, academic resources, and global innovations are published in English. That UNESCO in 2017 reported that 80% of scientific publications worldwide are written in English. So it making the primary language of science and technology. Through DLP, students also can gain direct access to current global advancement, ensuring that they are not left behind in the international academic and research arena. For the third problem is enhance students or graduate employability. In an increasingly competitive and globalized job market, English proficiency is no longer an advantage. It is a necessity. A Job Street Malaysia survey in 2019 revealed that 64% of employers identify poor English communication skill as a key reason for graduate unemployment. With DLP, this policy, students can develop not just academic literacy, but also the confidence to communicate in English, that giving them a competitive edge in their careers, both locally and globally. For the next problem, DLP also provide flexibility to schools and parents within the national education system. The school may choose to adopt the program, and parents are given the choice to decide whether their children will learn science and mathematics in English or Bahasa Melayu. According to the STARS in 2024, the number of schools involved in DLP increased significantly from 377 in 2016 to 2,501 schools by 2024, including national, religious, and vernacular institutions. This flexibility encourages broader participation while respecting linguistic diversity and parental preference. Finally, DLP was introduced as a more balanced and sustainable alternative to the previous PPSMI policy. In English, unlike PPSMI, DLP aligns with the government's MBI policy upholding the Malay language while strengthening English. In report by Malay Mail in 2017, noted that students in DLP schools demonstrated higher performance in science and mathematics, indicating the program's academic effectiveness. This shows that DLP not only promotes language learning, but also sustains strong subject performance. In conclusion, what can I say? The dual language program is a strategic and forward-thinking policy that aims at preparing Malaysian students for the challenges of the 21st century by improving English proficiency, enhancing access to global knowledge, increasing employability, and offering flexibility. DLP empowers both students and educators. As the world become more interconnected, initiative like DLP will be vital in ensuring our education system remains relevant and inclusive and competitive. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and my name is NORHISHAM, and I will talk about the objective, strategies and activities. So for the first objective is academic benefit. So the strategies is content and language integrated learning, or CLIL. The DLP uses a method called CLIL to help students learn science and mathematics in English. This approach helps students improve their English while understanding academic subjects at the same time. It encourages students to think deeply, use subject-specific words, and learn through a real-world situation. Since many students in Malaysia don't often use English outside school, CLIL gives them a chance to practice regularly in class. So for the activity is science investigation report. Students can do simple science experiments like testing how fast ice melt in different temperatures and write a report in English explaining the process and result. Then they present it to the class. So why this activity is being chosen? Because it helps students learn both science and English together. They get to use scientific terms, improve writing and speaking skills, and gain confidence using English in a meaningful ways. Second objective is workforce readiness development. So the strategy is English for specific purpose, ESP, and language immersion. The DLP also focus on teaching English that students will need in their future career, especially in science and technology. This is called English for Specific Purpose (ESP). At the same time, students are surrounded by English throughout their learning. This is called language immersion. This strategy helps students become comfortable with reading, writing, and speaking English in real situations, especially in technical field. So the activity is STEM Career Day Role Play. Students pick a STEM related job like an engineer, doctor, or scientist and act out a situation where they have been explained something in English, for example, how a machine works and how to follow lab safety rules. So this activity has been chosen because it gives students a chance to practice technical English in a real-world setting. They learn useful words for their future careers and get used to speaking English in a formal and professional situation. Last but not least, of objective is global contents. So for the study is early internalization and bilingual education. Another key part of DLP is starting English learning early and supporting bilingual education. This means students use both English and their mother tongue in school. Learning English from a young age helps students prepare for global opportunity, understand other cultures, and become more open-minded. It also helps them become flexible thinker and better problem solver. The activity is Global Science Fair. Students research a science invention from another country like Japan bullet trains or Germany wind energy. They create a bilingual poster in English and Malay and present it to the class. So why choose this activity? And this activity has been chosen because it teaches students about global science and culture while practicing two languages. They improve their English, learn about other countries, and gain skill communicate in international setting. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, we're moving on policy analysis. I'll be presenting policy strength. Let's begin by looking at how the DLP improves student skills in English. The dual language program is specifically designed to strengthen students' command of English, especially in science and mathematics. These are subjects that use a lot of technical terms that are almost always in English when used internationally. By learning science and maths in English, students are not only mastering subject content, but also absorbing key academic vocabulary that give them an edge. For example, when students study concepts like photosynthesis or algebra in English, they are becoming more fluent in using the language in a technical context. This naturally improves both their spoken and written English skills over time. Teachers also reported better classroom discussion and stronger confidence among students when expressing scientific ideas in English. There are a research test on students about vocabulary size test and comparative additive test. Result has shown that students in the DLP group consistently perform better in exams compared to their non-DLP peers. This indicates that the program not only supports English learning but also enhances academic performance overall. Next, let's talk about how DLP contributes to international competitiveness. We live in a globalized world, and English is the key language in international business, science, and higher education. By giving students early exposure to learning complex subjects in English, DLP prepares them to compete on a global stage. It builds both language and cognitive skills, which are essential for success in universities, especially those abroad. In an international workplace, many students have shared that learning in English has made them more confident and that they feel more prepared to face academic and job-related challenges in the future. This early head start is important, especially in fields like engineering, medicine, or computer science, where most resources and research are published in English. To support these points, let's look at some data. In 2014, before the LP was introduced, around 15,780 Malaysian students were studying in the UK and Ireland. By 2018, after the LP has been implemented, the number increased to 70,000. 776. This shows a positive trend and supports the idea that the LP is helping students become more globally ready. Another major strength is that the LP helps students access international information more easily. When students learn STEM subjects in English, they don't have to rely on translation to understand scientific and technological content. This makes them more curious, more motivated, and more not connected to the global knowledge community from young age. In summary, the DLP strengthens students' English skills, boosts their academic performance, enhance international competitiveness, and open up global access to knowledge. All these benefits point to why the DLP is valuable and forward-thinking policy for Malaysian education. Thank you.
Let's take a look at some of the weaknesses of the dual language program or DLP. So the DLP was introduced with a good purpose, which is to help students become more globally competitive by improving their English, especially through teaching science and mathematics in English. But of course, when it comes to the real life implementations, things don't always go smoothly. One of the biggest issue is with students who come from rural background or having a strong rural background, particularly in East Coast states like Kelantan and Terengganu. These areas are most rural or semi-urban, and English isn't used often in their daily life. At home, in the community, and even at school, most conversation happen in Bahasa Malaysia or in a local dialect. Because of that, when the students are suddenly expected to learn complex subjects like science and math in English, they face a real challenge. Their English vocabulary is limited, they struggle to understand the lessons, and this affects their overall academic performance. Some schools try to solve this by grouping students based on their English proficiency, but that only helps a little, especially if the whole school has low exposure to English in general. On top of that, there are also issues with of not having enough trained teachers. The National Union of the Teaching Profession (NUTP) mentioned in 2020 that many rural schools lack teachers who are properly trained to teach in English, especially in science and math. So sometimes school just assign whoever is available, even if they are not confident or fluent in English, and this has a direct effect on students. If the teacher is not comfortable using English, it reduces student understanding and participation. At the end of the day, it limits the success of the DLP. That's why moving forward, we really need to focus on two things, which is giving more support to students from rural areas and making sure teachers get training and results they need. Teaching English content is just about translating words. It's about building confidence, using the right strategies, and understanding the background of the students. The DLPs can still succeed, but if only we address these gaps properly. That's all.
Next, I will explain about recommendation. Based on the weaknesses that have been identified in the implementation of the DLP, there are two suggestions will be focused on bolstering the effectiveness of the policy. Firstly, strong foundation in mother tongue. An easy way to address the limitation of the DPL is to invest in the mother tongue, especially Bahasa Malaysia, before transferring on to learn science and mathematics in English language. There are many slow learners who left behind in their studies due to lack of comprehension of English talk classes. There is an organized way around this by start teaching in the mother tongue to ensure that students have a firm understanding of the concept, then gradually introduce the English as they become more proficient in speaking it. Next is improve teacher skill in mastering the English language. Teachers play a crucial role to the dual language program DLP success. Not all the teachers assigned to DLP classroom have a good skills in the English language. The Ministry of Education needs to provide a focused training programs that focusing on improving science and mathematics teachers' English language skills in order to address this. For example, in Singapore, where the teacher have to complete an intense learning environment at the National Institute of Education (NIE), called the Postgraduate Diploma in Education (PGDE) to ensure they have the skill to teach in English. By adopting as well, Malaysia may improve the ability of its teachers, especially those in rural and semi-urban places, and ensure all the youths, no matter where they live, they will receive excellent education. In conclusion, the dual language program DLP represents a progressive step in Malaysia education reform aimed at producing students who are proficient in English while maintaining strong academic performance in science and mathematics. Through strategic implementation, we can help students to have the skill of global communication, academic success, and employability. The policy supports Malaysia's goals of developing future-ready citizens who are capable of contributing meaningfully on both national and international levels. While the program shows positive outcomes, especially in urban and well-resourced schools, challenges remain for students in rural and undeserved areas. Limited English exposure, lack of trained teachers, and disparities in school infrastructure continue to affect equitable access to the benefits of DLP. Therefore, it is crucial for the Ministry of Education to strengthen the foundation of the mother tongue education and improve teacher training. With consistent evaluation and inclusive improvement, the DLP has the potential to foster not only bilingual proficiency but also a generation of globally competent, confident and competitive Malaysian students. That's all from us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sharul from Group 3. Are there any other objective of dual language program DLP in Malaysia school?
Based on our research on the Ministry of Education website, there are only 3 objectives, which is academic benefits, workforce readiness development, and global competency. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ime. I'm from Group 1. So my question is, how does the DLP impact students' language proficiency in English and Malay? That's it.
Thank you, Ime, for the question. So what can I say that the DLP helps students improve their English because they learn science and math in English. This gives them more practice using the language. At the same time, Bahasa Malaysia is still used in other subjects. So students continue to use and learn both language. If balanced well, DLP can make students good in both English and Bahasa Malaysia. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Norhisham from Group 4. So today I want to ask about what are some of the challenges faced by teachers and students?
One of the challenges faced by the teachers is limited professional training. Training programs may not be tailored to the specific needs of DLP subjects or the realities of the classroom. For the student, a major challenge is cultural and linguistic barriers. Students in area where Bahasa Malaysia or local dialects are dominant may find instruction in English unfamiliar and intimidating. Thank you.
My name is FARHAN. I'm from Group 6, and my question is, how does the DLP affect student performance in STEM subjects taught in English? That's all my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Farid, for the question. The LP helps students perform better in STEM subjects by improving their English, which make it easier to understand scientific terms and concepts. It also boosts their confidence, help them access global learning material, and prepare them for further studies in English.
Hi, I'm from Point. I have a question. In your opinion, should the DLP be expanded to more schools across Malaysia? Why or why not? Thank you.
So thank you for the questions. So my answer is yes. I think the dual language program or DLP must be expanded to more schools in Malaysia. It gives students more exposure to English, which is useful for their future studies and careers. Learning subject in English can also help students in improving their language skills faster. However, not all school is ready for this program. Some school doesn't have enough resources and trained teachers or proper materials. If the LP is forced without any support, it may cause students to struggle with understanding the lessons. So the LP should be expanded, but only when the schools are prepared. The government should provide training and support to make sure it works well for both teachers and students. Thank you.